Well, if you're the one person who watched the last video, you'll see that my backlog plan has already changed drastically yet again. I think I left it sometime, a month ago in October, just not really knowing how the month would go. And yeah, I watched a lot of movies. So I may do a future video where I rank, all the movies that I watched in October. I think that would be a lot of fun to do. And most of the content that I've done so far is really just video game based. So um, I don't know. Maybe that could be cool to do and do movies at some point. But for now, I'm going to update you all, whoever's watching, and for myself, this is as like a personal diary, my um, video game goings on for this year, and give an update, some context for what's here on the plan, and then I do need to make some overall collection updates. So I had a long running issue with my Wii U. I had transferred all my Wii data when the Wii U came out onto the Wii U, and that included, all my Virtual Console WiiWare uh, games that I had bought. Now, I have never modded my Wii U or Wii, but I really, and that's fine if you do, it's not a problem. I just really enjoyed, picking up a Virtual Console game here or there from Nintendo, a WiiWare game here or there. And I think part of the reason that I would do that pretty frequently is like it kind of felt like buying a game in a way, right? I really love the Virtual Console, the Wii Classic controller. I never hear a lot of people talk about it. For to me, it's actually one of my favorite controllers ever. I think the buttons and the D-pad are awesome. So to that end, I'm just a big fan of using that to play my Virtual Console games and my a lot of old school games that I purchased from there. But they were transferred over through an SD card, and that SD card over time, I guess, degraded, or I don't really know the exact crux of the reason why why it stopped working. But games would like load slower and slower and slower until they basically just stopped loading entirely off of the SD card. So I took it to a local shop. I had a really nice person, take some time, dig into the issue. I had done a ton of research before, tried a couple different fixes, copying files over onto a different SD card, all these different things. Couldn't really get anything to work. Ultimately had to, break with my desire of not homebrewing the system, and that person did go ahead and homebrew the system, basically matched all the files for the games that I had purchased. Actually gave me one bonus one, which was Donkey Kong 3 on NES, which I didn't have, but I kind of didn't mind having it, so I kind of let that go. But in the process, I did end up losing some games, and I did lose some save files. With the save files I lost my Xenoblade Chronicles save file, which is like 170, 180 hours. Bit of a bummer, but also my Kirby's Epic Yarn file, which was another big bummer because that's a game that it's basically like the first real game I played a lot with my daughter, which was like 3 or so. I had a completed game, had done literally everything 100% of that game, and it was just such a treat to put on. And you can't die in that game, so it was just really easy to get her to jam and play together. So I did lose those. I think most of the rest of the files that I've got for save files for Wii games are there, though now I'm quite limited on my space. But in addition, I did lose one Wii game that couldn't find a replicate file for, which was Excitebike World Rally. No big deal. It's a bummer, but it is what it is. But it ended up saving all the other Virtual Console games that I have, which means I can load them, play them as I always wanted to and intended to, through the Wii function on the Wii U. So I'm honestly happy with that. And for some reason, I lost some Wii U games that I purchased right before the e-store went down for Nintendo on the Wii U. I had gone in and purchased a good handful of them. So what we're going to do, I'm going to update the overall collection and then kind of talk about the plan for the rest of the year and see where things end up from there. So to that end, Um, in terms of the games that I lost, and I think one important thing, I've already got this filtered down to Wii and Wii U games, so these are easy to find and pick off. And I want to see the effect it has on the overall, you know, how much time, how many effectively years uh, it's going to take to beat the collection with these games off now. And I think this is also, and I would encourage other gamers, if you're out there, if you come across this for any reason, um, that hey, sometimes it's okay. Like I think we live in a world where it's um, increasingly, especially as gamers, you like really want to like have your save file, have your game, and we're really lucky and blessed to have giant collections with every game that we probably ever wanted to play and then some. And that's a desire that may pass on to younger generations. It may not. It really rests with us at this point because these are the games that we grew up with and we love and that cherish and mean something to us. Um, so, uh, you know, I think that learning to be okay with losing a piece of that is very important. You know, life is life. You don't get to carry everything with you for every step of life. That's just not how it works. And I'm bummed to lose those save files for Xenoblade Chronicles and Kirby's Epic Yarn. I'm bummed to lose the games that I'm going to show you here that I'm going to delete off. But I'm also okay. Like, if I don't end up playing these games through any other method through the rest of my life, you got to learn to be okay with it. So, say la vie. And I'm going to go ahead and just tick them off here. So, Excitebike World Rally, regrettably unable to save, and that is now gone. I did also lose all 3 Final Fights. That was kind of a last second purchase there off the Virtual Console for Wii U. I'm not as big a fan of the way they did Virtual Console games on the Wii U as the Wii. There's some like weird, when you plug it in to CRT, there's like some weird scaling issues with the way the screen is. I never had a problem on the Wii, but for some reason I've seen it on the Wii U. This is a big one. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. I have other Fire Emblem games. I've never played any of them. I'm sitting here almost 40. Like, am I really going to play every Fire Emblem game or like a bunch of them? I'll probably play a couple, but, hey, got to be okay that that one's out of the collection now, as it is. Let me see here. What else did I lose? There is a part of me that was like, oh, why couldn't I lose some really hard games like Castlevania Dracula X or Ninja Gaiden 2 and 3? But, I kept them, so no big deal. Here we go. Shantae, I lost both of these. So these are going to go off. A little bit of a bummer, too, because some of these are like shorter games, so would have been good to mix in with the rest. I lost Shockman. That was cool because I think it was a TurboGrafx game that I'd never really come across before, and I thought that was neat. I think that's everything that I missed. I made a matching note, actually, on my backloggery. Some type of error happening right now. All right, well, let me see if I can still find this. This should be under the Excitebike note. Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3. Lone Survivor, that's the other one. Okay, so yeah, Lone Survivor was the other one that I lost. Okay. And then I think I did not add Donkey Kong 3. Alright. Well, we'll go ahead and add the full collection back here, and I'll go ahead and add in Donkey Kong 3. Let's go here. So this is quite a short one. I've looked up a long play for it. It's I'm probably not going to spend a ton of time with this one, but maybe a bit tricky to learn. You never know. So this one is going to be played on. Oh, well, I guess technically it's an NES game, but it's going to be played on the Wii U. Wii U is the right thing for me to put there, right? I'll probably spend maybe 10 to 15 hours at the very most of that, and it's like a 2D. It's actually not really a platformer. I don't know. I'm just gonna call it 2D arcade. I don't really have that before. Can't remember if there's a multiplayer aspect to it. is Donkey Kong 3 NES multiplayer. You can always just find that out real quick. Okay, yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, you're Stanley the Bugman. It's like such a weird game. Somebody called it like a shooter or whatever. All right, so that should adjust for the overall collection. So that does mean losing about, I think, 7 games in total. Oh, I didn't delete. Did I delete? I did delete Excite Bike. I'm sure that I did. Yeah, I kept it on the backloggery as a kind of in memoriam type of thing. Um, okay, so I think before this was like 16.07 or something like that. So, everything's kind of floated around the same time frame. I will re-look at this because now I have games at different hour markers. And going back to the plan for this year, so that's adjusting the overall collection. I've already done it on backloggery. It looks like backloggery is having an issue right now anyways. Yeah, fetching notifications. So I'll just leave that be. But I'm going to take a look at the plan for this year. I have Red Racer. I don't have it hooked up right now. I will probably give this another go. I think I put it ending 12. Yeah, I'm trying to get done with Death Stranding. And this is another thing that I did decide to start doing as well, which I was not doing prior. With the Nintendo Switch Online, I just always wanted to play a lot of the games that are available there that I didn't own on the original console. And I just don't care as much as I used to. I think especially losing some of those games digitally that I did on the Wii U. I just kind of I really want to play, I wanted to play Bloodline. So I've been actually playing it quite a bit, probably put a good 20 or so hours into it, getting pretty good at it. But the final form of Dracula is really quite difficult. But the point that I was going to make also was this is Death Stranding 2. I think I put 60 to 80 hours. My God, the game is long. And part of it's maybe the way I'm playing it as well, but it's such a long game. It's really, I'm really hoping it has a big turnaround in the final, quarter of the game. I remember the original Death Stranding. I was pretty enchanted with it and thought it was super interesting, but then I took a big break, kind of half-ish, 2/3 of the way through, and then I came back to it a couple months later, and I was just swept away towards the ending. I thought it was beautiful and wonderful, and I haven't really felt a lot of that in the second one. It's a good game overall. It's fun, but I definitely have got some issues with it. So the one thing I'm thinking here that I may do, so I did put that I would start Breath of the Wild before the beginning of the year. I actually don't think I'm going to. My wife just told me that she's actually interested in playing through Witcher 3 again. Cleanse the palette from the Netflix Witcher. We're watching through season 4, and just say that we're not huge fans of what we've seen so far. Only got a couple episodes to go. I'll leave it at that for now. So I might want to, instead of doing this, I've got the Wii U hooked up, and I'd love to actually play something on there. Let me filter this back to the Wii and Wii games. I don't really think I want to play a shooter or a Castlevania. Entertain the idea of doing Chrono Trigger. I always wanted to replay it on the Super Nintendo when I played it, because I played it when I was 13 years old, and it's loomed so large in my mind. But there's something about it that I'm kind of I don't know. Earthbound Beginnings could be interesting. I'm thinking that, it's kind of a shorter-ish RPG. I don't really want to play something crazy action-packed, I don't think. Just looking at some of the options here. Mario Kart could be fun. I haven't played through a Mario Kart in a while. I've only got a few left. Muramasa the Demon Blade. That could be interesting. I don't know how action-packed that is per se, but that's an interesting shout to potentially play. Or an ogre battle. That's a little. I don't want to play something that's super long and grindy. I kind of want to play something that's in between. I was definitely entertaining the idea of playing through Mario RPG. Skyward Sword's been on my list forever. Mario Galaxy's been on my list forever. Um, I I kind of want to. Part of me is thinking Mario Galaxy because the movie just got announced, and it's I have a I have even in the living room I have a poster for it and I never played it. I'm gonna go with that instead actually. So why not? I think that'd be a great game to end the year with. 30 to 40 hours or so, right? Something like that. Play it on the Wii U. What did I call it? 3D platformer. Yeah. Okay. I like that. Yeah. Why not? Cool. I think I'm going to leave it at that for now. Hopefully, if you've listened through, you've heard a little bit of my ramblings here, what's kind of going on. Being okay with playing uh, Nintendo Switch Online games. I'm not adding every game that's on Switch Online onto my backlog, just games that I really want to play that I don't want to go hunt down a physical copy. I just really want to play it, and I'm more than happy to play it on the Switch in that way. And then the adjustments that I've had to my collection and kind of learning to be okay with losing stuff. Hey, it's going to happen, and you got to learn to be okay with it. So, yeah, if you stuck all the way through, really appreciate you watching. Thanks for listening to a little bit of Game Rambles, and catch you next time.